This is the second part of our lesson 2, preparing your story. The objectives are, you should be able to explain the different points of view in narration, discuss the character and the plot, and write a good script based from the elements that comprise a good story infusing societal issues. This video will discuss about how are we going to create the character and the plot. The standard approach to writing a story is a three-part structure where you already have a definite beginning, middle, and end in mind. The beginning or introduction is usually where the main character is revealed. You must be able to convey the character's essence because this will move the story forward. This is called character sketching. The beginning or the character sketching consists of the following. First, free write about your character. You have to think of a physical appearance and other characteristics you want to use. Let your imagination run in the character that you want to include in the story. Second, confirm the basic physical description of the character. Next, think about your character's overall emotions and feelings. Create a name for your character, and then determine the character's relationship to the story, world, or main character. After establishing your characters, the next part is the middle or plotting your story. This is where you start developing the plot by means of presenting other characters and obstacles. The first thing that you will do is to brainstorm to generate and character plot ideas. Next is to write the premise or summary of your story. Next is create character sheets for your main and supporting characters. This is where you write down your character's descriptions, personal details, and other traits. Next, identify a central conflict. Your conflict should appear early in the story so that the readers or the viewers will be able to experience tension. This will also lead to the rise in action in the plot and eventually to the climax, which is the peak of the action in the plot. There are two types of conflicts. The internal, which is between the character and themselves. For example, the character may know what they are doing is wrong, but they are struggling to stop. And then the other type is external or external conflict, wherein conflicts occur outside the character. We have person versus person, wherein the main character faces an antagonist. For example, a girl confronts her bully. Another external conflict is person versus nature. The main character faces natural elements. For example, campers must survive in the forest during a terrible storm. And then the last one is person versus the society, wherein the main character confronts an issue. For example, a girl engaged in civil disobedience to help change a law. The last is ending or resolution. It is the result of the decisions that your character makes. In choosing your main character, you have a wide array of options. Just bear in mind that you have to make the audience know for certain the identity of your main character. In order for you to create a good ending or resolution, you must reread what you have written of the story so far. And then, you may ask yourself the following questions. What is the goal of the story? Do you want a surprise ending? How about an abrupt ending? An inclusive or open-ended ending? Or happily ever after ending? Consider the type of story you have written. Is it literary fiction, science fiction, or romance? The genre of your story may help you decide what types of ending are most appropriate. Your ending should be related to your story. This is the plot diagram of the classic structure, wherein it will begin with exposition, where the story and characters and settings are introduced. Where the main character faces a series of conflicts is in the rising action, and the most exciting part of the story when we learn the outcome, which is the climax. And there will be events leading to the end of the story, which is the falling action, and of course, the end of the story, which is resolution. Although the three-part structure helps, it is not necessary that one uses it. Sometimes, going against the norms will help you give you ideas for different and more interesting stories. There is a multitude of stories that you can invent by mixing and matching the basic elements of writing a good story. You only have to write down all your ideas so you will not forget them. If you have questions about the character in the plot or the topic discussed in this video, don't hesitate to send me a message. Thank you.